Good evening. Tonight, a very special cigar that I've been postponing to review for quite a while. A very special cigar that took me about 30 shops to find and over 20 hours of drive. I had to cross the English Channel and drive all the way close to Poland. Of course, I'm talking about the St. Louis Rey Belicosos Exclusivo Alemania. For those of you who don't know what Alemania means, it means Germany. The only reason why I'm holding the cigar in my hand and the box behind me is thanks to the generosity of the Tobacco House Simon and Marco and his brother. Thank you very much for allowing me to buy the box, and thank you very much for this gift. I shall enjoy it thoroughly, I'm sure. I have created quite a few videos to talk about my travels in Germany. If you haven't checked them out, check out my previous videos about my Germany vlog, as well as I think I did 2 or 3 reviews from Potsdam in Germany, so feel free. On other news, we are going to touch on trading cigars. From my previous video, I had a few conversations with a few people. A few people actually phoned me, friends of mine. I had a few comments in the different platforms on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I also had a conversation with the guys in the groups that I run. So I'm going to talk about market price versus release price. And why is it an interesting conversation? And I'm also going to touch, if the time permits, I'm also going to touch on investors versus collectors. So hold on to your seats. I'm KD. These are my Leaf Diaries, ladies and gents. Welcome to another episode. Before I dig into the conversation, let's cut it, light it, and start smoking it. Pour a nice pairing with it and start enjoying it whilst I'm talking to you. Now we have it cut and lit. This is what we've got working with, ladies and gents. Absolutely sensational Vitola. I had to cut it twice because my Casco gold-plated cutter is basically suited more for a flathead pareo cap type Vitola. This is a Belicosos. I also often do a Cuban cut, which is diagonal, but this today it just felt like I'm gonna have a straight cut. Not had a straight cut for a while, so I'm gonna be enjoying it. No way to dance around the fact I had some technical difficulties, so you'll have to excuse me. I've gone quite a few puffs through the cigar, and it's absolutely lovely. Now, St. Louis Rey is one of the lesser known brands. It was established in 1914, registered in 1914 internationally by a British firm called Zamora Uguera, and I'm hoping I'm not butchering the name. Now, traditionally, this brand is known for its medium to full body cigars, very complex, very rich flavors and profiles. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this little Belicosos does not disappoint. Very high content of nicotine, and this very similar to all other St. Louis Rey Vitolas and cigars. It has a very strong following from core or how the hardcore aficionados or long-term collectors or people who actually know what the cigar is about. Usually it's cedary, earthy, nutty, floral, just sensational. And this, ladies and gents, is exactly that. The name St. Louis Rey doesn't really come from the St. Louis area in Pinar del Rio, as a lot of people think, but from Thornton Wilder's 1927 The Bridge of St. Louis Rey novel, a book that had a great cultural impact at the time the brand was created. Vitola de Galera, Campagna, or more commonly known as Belicosos, 140 millimeters by 52 ring gauge, very, very generous Vitola. I would say so. At least I think so. Now, been talking to you about the cigar. Let me tell you a little bit more. 6,000 boxes of 25, as you've seen here. And you would have seen in the close-ups, this box is from March 25, so quite fresh. And still, ladies and gents, the cigar smokes absolutely sensational. I've been talking about the cigar. Let me get the pairing sorted to complete the picture. And what I'm going to be pairing it with is this little nugget, La Flor de Cana 12. This is a rum. I am not a rum person, for anyone that knows me. I was introduced to rum by a friend of mine, Rosin, from Sofia, Bulgaria. Oh, I love that sound. Popping the cork. Well, that's a healthy serving for a Monday evening, but I'm not complaining. Cheers, ladies and gents. Oh, wow. Very sweet. A lot of sugarcane, quite a bit of heat. I think this is going to pair well. Wow. Quite sweet, almost woodiness, cedariness. Can I say sweet cedar? I just said it. Sweet cedar. Toasted nuts. Very earthy, very nice. Also quite creamy, to be honest. I was actually not expecting that. I wasn't expecting any cream from St. Louis Rey, but this is quite creamy, and there's something at the back of my palate, some tanginess, some citrusy tanginess, which is, wow. Medium body going into medium full, actually. It is a strong, high nicotine content cigar. I'm quite enjoying this. For the first third, it's quite sensational. Now, I'll come back to this as I smoke it. Onto the subject at hand. Let's dive straight into the conversation. How to trade cigars. The release price versus current price. This is quite a polarizing subject, as it turns out, and it defines you as a collector and what you are. And I'll come back to the second conversation later, where I'm going to talk about the difference between a collector smoker and a collector investor, because both the subjects are actually tied into each other. This question really decides how people are viewed in terms of what's more important. Is the cigar more important, or the money are more important? And also, it is the very basic question of, can you trade with people or successfully, or trades just fall apart because people are only interested in the money? There are, of course, exceptions to every rule, and all of the rules are written by only two people, the person that's trading and the person that's trading on the other side. There's no other people, there's no other individuals in that equation that can dictate how a trade is done. Everyone decides how to trade themselves. I have my own ways of trading. Other people have theirs. Sometimes I trade at a loss, purely because I want the box of the other guy more than he wants mine. Sometimes I trade it at a very slight win. I have never traded in a manner in which I get the upper hand by a big margin. Or when I say big margin, anything that's different to the value of about 100 euros to me is a big margin, and I think it's unfair to one or the other, either unfair to me or unfair to the other person. I would never trade with someone if he's losing 100 euros. I'll just give the 100 euros cash, and I wouldn't expect someone to pay me for. Here's an example: if I trade a La Gloria Cubana Via Balcanica, or Scrap Via Balcanica, let's say I'm trading Ramon Leones King of the North. It was if memory serves, $27-30 at release. Currently, you cannot find them for less than 60-70 British pounds, which is what, $80-90. So if I want to trade one of my Ramon Allones King of the North boxes, I wouldn't expect you to pay me $90 for it. I could do one of two things. I can either trade it at retail value, but I will ask you to give me a regional edition of the same or similar year, in terms of 1 year older or 1 year younger or something along those lines. But I wouldn't expect you to pay me the current market value, because it's just stupid. This is why I usually trade fresh for fresh, meaning current regionals for this year for current regionals of this year. I wouldn't trade 5-year-old regional for a fresh box, because it makes no sense. Unless you know me personally, you wouldn't know how I keep my cigars. You wouldn't know if I'm giving you a quality product. You wouldn't know if I've aged them correctly. Same goes from me to you. If I don't know you for quite a few years and have done quite a few trades with you, and know you personally, I wouldn't trade aged cigars with you, because I'm sorry. I'm not saying that everyone's incompetent apart from me, far from it. I'm only saying that I don't know you, so there's no way I could trust you. I know so many people, so many collectors that age their cigars differently to me. What I mean by that is I age my cigars on a golden rule 69 by 69, meaning 69 Fahrenheit by 69 humidity, percentage of humidity, which is about 18 degrees Celsius by 69% of humidity for cigars up to 5 years old, and older cigars than 5 years, I drop the humidity 65%, same temperature. But of course, other people enjoy their cigars a little bit more humid, 71, 72% humidity. To me, that's too much. I wouldn't enjoy a cigar like that, and I wouldn't enjoy a cigar that's been aged at that humidity, because the speed in which it ages is faster, and therefore the state of aging is completely different. Faster doesn't mean better, by the way. To me, it means worse, but that's just me. So what does release price means? Well, it means the price in which Habanos originally release a Habanos edition when it hits the shelves. A lot of collectors, me included, believe that this is the most fair way in trading cigars, because the price is the price. The price does not change by the court of public opinion, the court of, oh, well, my box is 5 years old and I bought it 20 euros and now it's 50. No, it's not. It's 20. That's it. Oh, but I had to buy it from a reseller and the release price is 20, but I paid 35. That's your problem. Oh, but I had to bribe someone to get it, or I had to ship it from Spain to Portugal to Bulgaria to the UK, and all that shipping cost, it's more expensive. That's your problem. The release price is the release price. Because when you come to me and go, KD, can I have a box of, I don't know, La Gloria Cubana Britannicas, one of the old UK regionals, I'm not going to tell you it's 8 years old and you owe me, triple the price. The price is the price, but I'm going to look for something in your collection that's around that age. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, I'll declare a price, and if you like it, good. If you don't, we don't trade these particular things. We look at something else in our collections to trade. And this is how I believe, as a collector and a smoker, is the right way to trade cigars. The second type is current market price. That is a bit of woozy, it's a wheezy, it's a bit of a fugazi. I don't know, you've watched, I'm guessing, Wolf of Wall Street. There's a famous scene there with Matthew McConaughey. It's not on the elemental chart, that price, because it depends on scarcity, on availability, or scarcity, whichever way you want to take it, on hype, how much people have hyped that cigar. How many people are saying the Belicosos St. Louis is amazing, you have to have it, blah, 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 and that starts inflating price. A lot of people are saying, if you don't take the current market price into consideration, you're living in a fantasy world. And that might be the case. For people that don't have big collections and are not able to trade in different years, and when I say trade in different years, meaning if I have a box from 2016 and you want it, you give me a box from 2016 of yours, which is a different regional, which I don't have, and we trade at the price. Otherwise, if I have a box of 2016 something that costed at the time £50 and it's now £280 in some cases. Here's an example. I paid £265 in a very luxurious London lounge for a Netherlands region, which is not even that old. €265 for a cigar that costed $40. I paid it because I wanted. Is it fair? No. Because then we go back to that other subject, oh KD, what's a fair price? There isn't one. It really depends on what you're prepared to pay and what you're prepared to let go your cigars from. Remember, no one is putting a gun to your head to trade your cigars. With me or with anyone else, it doesn't really matter. No one. So you decide how to trade. As I also touched a little bit, trading aged cigars also carries a certain amount of risk because you don't know how they're being kept. If you know the person, by all means. If you trust the person, if you've seen how they store their cigars, you know their capabilities, their knowledge in how they should look after their cigars, and you're comfortable, fill your boots, by all means. No problem, go and trade. I'll talk about the case of the release price. There's three real points that I believe make the release price more the right choice for trading. And when I say trading, I do mean trading. I don't mean selling. Selling is something completely different. It's not. It's trading. So from a trading perspective, the three reasons why I think release price is better than market price is trust, fairness, and stability. Let me dig into these. So from a trust perspective, once a cigar has left the official distribution line, there's no way you can guarantee that the cigar has been kept properly. With all due respect to everyone that's watching this video, prove me wrong. There's no way you can prove it, right? You can claim anything that you want, but you can't really prove it. Unless you've got a time lapse of your humidor for the last 4 years, you can't really prove it, right? You're then gonna claim that people should trust you. How can people trust you if they don't know you, right? That's the trust part. Here comes the fairness. Now, cigars to me have never been a commodity. This is not something, in my personal opinion, that you should use as a commodity. Let me buy this box of Belicosos Alemania for £100. I'll wait for 5 years and sell it for £500. That's you making a profit, right? That's you smoking cigars, you being in this lifestyle as a collector, but really to gain money. Then you're selling the cigar. You're not really trading a cigar. This is not a commodity. Cigars are consumables. They're meant to be smoked and enjoyed, not commoditized. If we inflate the price of every box that we trade, this is profit making. Trading on release price gets rid of all of that for both parties. Again, remember, right? If you buy a box for X, I buy a box for X, we trade on the value of the release price, and the release price is the same. It's the same in the UK, it's the same, regardless of what the price is in the UK or other markets, the release price is the release price. That's the beauty of the release price, right? The Habanos release price. If you bought it from the UK, well, okay, buy it from Andorra. Spend £1,000, make the trip and buy it from Andorra for cheap. That's entirely up to you. But the release price makes the change in a collector's environment a lot easier, at least to me. Also, stability, and what I mean by that is very often what we see is a cigar comes out, gets super hyped, the price jumps, then Habanos start releasing lots of them. The market gets flooded and the price plummets. Or the cigar is quite popular this year, but everyone's forgotten about it 3 years later. No one cares, so the price is not going to be the same. So the price, don't think that if you age a cigar for 7 years, it's going to quadruple in price. You might end up losing money, actually. Also, you might get mold, you might get bugs, you might have quite a few problems, right? So stability is an important factor. But let's dive into the other camp, in the market value camp. If I have aged a box for 5 years, that costs effort, that costs money, that costs attention. So why shouldn't I be rewarded for all of that labor, right? This is how the market price collectors think. Yes, of course, it does make sense. Commitment should be rewarded. Why not? The other argument is scarcity and availability, right? If I have 6 boxes of La Gloria Cubana Glorias, the old massive big boy regional edition, and there's not a single box on the market, why should I give it away at the release price? I should get more money for it because I've got the only 5 boxes available, right? That's the other argument. But fairness cuts both ways, ladies and gents. And what I mean by that is, if you come to me and say, Katie, I'm going to trade this La Gloria Cubana Orgullosos for £1,700 when the release price was $300, then I'll say, okay, what do you want from my collection? You'll say, let's say, for example, I don't know, Bolivar New Gold Medal. And I say, okay, £1,200 for the box, although it's €250. And you're going to go, well, it's €250. Yeah. Yours is $300, but you don't want to trade on release prices, so there you go. It's just not fair in my opinion, and no offense to anyone, but that's just me. That's my opinion. So again, I'm gonna say there's plenty of examples. I pay on top for a lot of boxes without even trading. Right? Very often when I buy a box, I'll pay extra just to get access to it. Is it worth it? Probably not. But I'm an impatient smoker. When I want something, I want it now, and I pay for the luxury. A lot of people are, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna go on a holiday. A friend of mine is going on holiday, so I'll wait. That's a very valid way of buying cigars. Going back to something that I've said a long time ago, building a collection can be done in one of 2 ways: patience or money. So, I see the way of trading very similarly connected to that same argument. To me, patience is the release price and money is the market price, right? If you are into money, this for you is a money-making machine, of course you're going to want to get the market price because you're going to get more money for it. The reason why I'm after release prices is because, to me, this is a commodity. I will smoke it. I'm not going to buy it and resell it later or now to get more money because it's scarce. So these are the 2 camps, and I'm going to stop here because I think that I've exhausted the subject. And if I haven't, let me know in the comments below. Give me your example. Give me your arguments. I'm going to be more than happy to cover it in another video or answer you directly in the comments below. But I want to go back to this because this is the important piece in tonight's conversation. I'm into the second third of the cigar, and let me tell you, there's a little bit of cocoa coming out now. Roasted coffee, roasted nuts. Jesus, this is... Retrohale is quite harsh. I think this is gonna dissipate with age. But as I keep saying, every cigar gets better with age. This is amazing fresh. The complexity of the cigar has now increased dramatically. The smoke density has thickened, and the balance between the aromas and the tastes is out of this world. Marco, thank you so much, my friend. This is one absolutely sensational cigar. Look at this. The ash is amazing. The burn is very good. I had to poke it a little bit with the trusty Perfect Draw, but it wasn't anything worrying. It was very tight. It was a tight draw, not very tight draw. It was a tight draw. A lot of smokers would have enjoyed it. I don't really enjoy tight draws. This is why I would use the Perfect Draw, even if the cigar is not plugged. This cigar was not plugged by no stretch of imagination. But the flavors and the aromas are out of this world. The only thing I regret it is not having more boxes. If I had the option, I would have probably bought another 2-3 boxes minimum. What an amazing cigar! What an amazing regional! All Germans must be very proud of this regional. The hype is real, ladies and gents. This cigar is sensational. If you retrohale just a little bit, not the full puff, it's actually not harsh, and you can sense a little bit of white pepper. Wow. Wow. This is what a regional edition cigar should be like. Now it's going into a very much full body cigar. Like I said, the nicotine levels are quite serious, not for the faint of heart, but not overly strong, I would say. There's a lot stronger cigars than this, but this is right on the edge of uncomfortability, where it's at the peak of your interest, but at the same time keeps it very, very pleasurable and enjoyable. The other very significant market reason for having the St. Louis Rey Belicosos as a German regional is because this is the first St. Louis Rey German regional ever. So it's quite special for the German market. Moving on swiftly to the second subject, which is collect to smoke and collect as investment. There's two types of collectors, if you ask me. Number one is the person that will collect to invest. And what I mean by that is someone will go and buy a box of Belicosos St. Louis Rey, for example, and they will keep it in the humidor and they'll be aging it. They would not touch it with a barge pole. They will be smoking their standard editions or their New World cigars. They'll be smoking things like, I don't know, whatever tickles their fancy, really. They'll wait for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years, however many years, until the cigar is no longer available anywhere, and they will want to extract a very big price when they're selling it or trading it. Usually selling it. You know, the market is quite ripe for collectors like that because cigar prices keep going up and up and up, and there is no signaling from anywhere that cigar prices might go down or level. And so very, very lucrative business, I'd say, for people that are in it for the money. Also, scarcity adds fuel to the fire. What I mean by that is I'm sorry I keep giving the Belicosos for an example, but it's the cigar I'm reviewing tonight. So 6,000 boxes of 25. 6,000 boxes, if you think about it, it's very, very little, especially for the German market, because the German market doesn't just cater, because Fifth Avenida doesn't just cater for the German market. It has a number of countries that they look after, meaning these regional editions will go to all of the countries that the German market looks after. Fifth Avenida being a distributor for more than just Germany, they serve Poland and other countries. They will probably send a few boxes there. So there's 6,000 boxes. Fifth Avenida will probably keep about 2, 3, 500 maybe boxes for themselves in terms of age them and probably offer them to their customers in a few years' time in special edition humidors or as an aged regional editions, something that La Guito does very often, actually every year around Christmas, and I've been talking about this in quite a few videos. So that's scarcity for you. Once a regional edition stops selling on the primary market, which is the distributor market, with the main retailers, it usually doubles in size. I'm talking market price. It usually doubles in size. So it's quite lucrative from a business perspective. And I get the argument, right? Why not? Why don't mind you, people that collect for money call this a hobby. People that collect to smoke call this a lifestyle. This is something else that I'd like you to remember. This is my own personal observation and opinion. Yours might be different. So why wouldn't we get our hobby to pay for itself, right? Why wouldn't we, smoke for cheaper or even free if you can make it? I get it. I get it, and I'm not judging. I'm not condoning. I'm not against it. Don't get me wrong. By no stretch of imagination, everyone can do whatever they want with their cigars. Once you pay for an item, it's your item, and you can do with it as you please. No one can tell you what to sell it for. This entire video I've been talking about what I am doing. I'm not telling you what you should do. Your cigars, your decision, you can do it with them as you please, right? Now, on the other side, collectors that smoke view cigars as commodities, as collectibles, as something that we enjoy. Inflating the price of a cigar, in my personal opinion, corrupts the cigar smoking culture. Again, this is me. Not saying this is the right thing, but it's my thing. Take it as you wish, you know. Both camps are valid, in my humble opinion. Age your cigars and sell them for whatever you want. But if you're trading, you know, I'm more than happy to pay double. I'm more than happy to pay triple, quadruple. I've paid it many a times for a cigar that I really want, I really enjoy. If you deliver it to my door and I don't need to worry about all of the risks associated with international travel of those cigars, then yeah, I'll pay you for the hustle. You've got expenses, you need to be paid. But when it comes to trading, I've got a very strong feeling and a very strong opinion of how I do trades. I hope that clears that message. And if you've got any questions, do let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna go back for the last time to the cigar because this cigar deserves my attention more than I've given it in this interview. In this review. This is the final third. As you can see, the cigar is behaving absolutely immaculately. Now I'm getting some warm spices, really nice. Some roasted coffee, some wood, some dark coffee, some dark caramel. Wow, very slight lingering bitterness at the back of my palate now. Retrohale at this point of the cigar is a no-no for me. It's a bit too strong for me to retrohale it, but I'm very much enjoying it, especially in the company of the La Flor de Cana 12. Match made in heaven. This is a cigar that will be savored. I only have this one and the box behind me, so I will savor them because they deserve to be savored. This is one of those cigars where you can't smoke it as a daily purely because it's scarce. If I had boxes, I would have smoked the hell out of it. Excuse my, French. It's now medium to full, a strong medium to full body cigar. Wow, wow, wow. Some dark chocolate as well is what I'm sensing right now. Absolutely sensational. At this point, the bands will come off because there's not much space left for them. Now, I've spoken about the bands and the significance of the bands. Let me just touch on it for 2 seconds before I finish the video. I have a lot of mates that have told me quite a few times in different settings and scenarios, and different people have told me that in Havana, and I've never been to Havana, I'm hoping to go there one day on festival, that in Havana, the accepted way to smoke the cigar is to light it up, have a few puffs, 2-3 puffs, and take off the bands so you don't make people uncomfortable sitting next to you on the opposite table if they're smoking what could be considered as a lesser cigar, a lesser flashy brand or a premium line or whatever. I don't keep the bands to the last very second because I want people to see what cigars I'm smoking. I keep the bands so the crack, when it comes to here, I can roll it up, smoke through the crack, and I don't lose the cigar. A few nights ago, I was smoking Chapman Magnum 56, the Limitada from 2015. 10-year-old cigar, one of the best limitadas, especially Upman limitadas, hands down the best limitada up until now that have come out from the Chapman brand. It's split up to somewhere around the entry of the last third, and it was unsmokable because the split went, I already took off the band, the split went all the way down to the cap, it unraveled and it went to the bin, which was a real shame for a 10-year-old cigar. So I keep the bands as long as I can, keep them for it. And some of them are even burned through. I don't know if you can see, but this one is slightly burned here on the bottom edge. So yeah, this is me. I'm telling you, my personal opinion, if you can get it, get it. It deserves the money, even if you buy it from a reseller, even if you have to pay more than the retail price. This cigar is worth the investment. Not investment to sell, investment to smoke. It's a very, 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 very premium, good Habano. I'd like to take again the chance to thank Marco and his brother from the Tobacco House Simon in Potsdam, Germany. In my humble opinion, the best Habanos retailer in and around Berlin, the best stocked retailer. Both Marco and his brother are amazing hosts, very generous, very hospitable. If you're in Berlin, make the trip to Potsdam and visit them to give them some business. They deserve it, ladies and gents. I can't tell you how grateful I am to Marco and his brother for this opportunity. This is going to be it from me for tonight. The cigar is nearly gone. Don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe. Here's my link tree here. Sorry, try my global Telegram community, KD Leaf Diaries. We've got representatives of 28 countries. If you're UK based, reach out to me directly. Let's have a quick chat. If you're interested to join my UK only cigar club. It's still young, it's very small. We are about 20 aficionados, very committed aficionados to have a community, an active community in. Soon we're going to start doing some more gatherings. Of course, I've got my KD Leaf Diaries virtual hearth this coming Friday, the 10th of October. If you're free, check out my website, again, kdld.co.uk. Click the RSVP button. It's completely free. It's a Teams meeting. We kick off at 7 p.m. UK time on this Friday, the 10th of October. And if you want to smoke, you can smoke. If you want to drink, you can drink. If you don't want to smoke and drink, don't smoke and drink. Join us for the conversation. We start at 7. We usually finish very late. We drink, we enjoy, we smoke, we laugh, we talk about all sorts of things, not only cigars. It's quite the laugh, so highly recommended. Don't forget to let me know if you want me to cover any other subjects, any other conversations in and around cigars. I'm more than happy to oblige. But this is going to be it from me for tonight, ladies and gents. Thank you very much for your time. Apologies for all the blabbery, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm KD. These were my Leaf Diaries. Have a great evening, ladies and gents.